Well, it's going down at Gold One Mine in Springs and literally going down. Now, some say they've dug their own graves, but for hundreds of disgruntled mine workers, their underground sit-in is the only way to get heard. Now, these workers are calling for recognition of the Association of Mine Workers and Construction Union. eNCA's reporter Bafedile Moerane is tracking the developments at the mine, and we are going to be talking to her in just a moment, and she'll let us know exactly what is happening. You would have seen that we've managed to talk to the National Union of Mine Workers. We've managed to talk to AMCU, but the voices that have been quite silent, which we have actually been trying to get through to you, are those of the mine workers and the management. But let's listen in to Bafedile.
We're not going to come out of this mine up until AMCU is recognized. There's no hostage. NUM keeps saying 500 of their members are held hostage by 20 people. I mean, it doesn't make sense. If NUM believed that those were their members, what stopped NUM and management to go and talk to their members? But they failed to do so on Monday, they failed to do so yesterday. We have always called from the engagement with the company on Monday to say, allow us to go underground and talk to these workers. They bluntly refused.
So there was a bit of a back and forth about how these workers came up to the ground. Was it part of the police operations or did they escape?
Look, it is possible it might have been involvement of the police, as we've indicated yesterday. A lot of police have entered the mine. They've staged a station inside the operation. You can ask yourself, how possible is that police, the state, are involving themselves into a labor dispute? High police ranking were inside the mine the whole night. They were offered offices. They were brought food. 2 trucks of food came in specifically for the police and security that is inside. You ask yourself, why were they not prioritizing the workers underground who had been underground since Sunday without food? We have even offered yesterday when we started with our meeting to say, we as AMCU, we can buy those employees food. Please allow us to go underground to talk to those workers.
But surely you can appreciate the intervention by the state, considering the number of lives that are at stake underground. It's 500 people. What other intervention, if not state, could have possibly helped to start bringing these people out?
Look, again, it's based on the narrative that liars have been put on media to say workers are held hostage. And we keep saying there's no workers who are held hostage. Whether you take them out or you leave them in, at the end of the day, the question is, will they wish to belong to NUM or will they say we are members of AMCU? That's the question you need to ask yourself.
Are the negotiations still continuing about which way they sway, whether they'll allow AMCU to continue with the Section 21 or they remain with the Section 26?
Look, we are still engaging. We are still engaging as AMCU. We're not going to back down and desert these workers. These workers are saying we want to belong to AMCU, and AMCU will always be here for them. So the issues of closed shop agreement, we've been saying this. There's clauses in the closed shop agreement that gives workers a right to say if they don't want to belong to that closed shop agreement, they have a right to sign a petition. A petition was signed and sent to the employer and NUM. Employer and NUM failed to respond to the petition of the workers. We as AMCU took this matter as far as to the CCMA. We failed to find one another at the CCMA, hence we were issued with a non-striking certificate. So, unfortunately, you can't stop these workers. So we'll be having a mass meeting with them. We will be indicating what is the next step that we need to be taking.
How is the well-being of the workers?
At this point, we are still communicating with those that are inside. They have been held at a separate location. We are informed that medical people are attending to them. Again, we are informed that police are saying they need to interrogate them. Look, as per the court order was saying the only job of the police is to ensure that the court order is enforced. Enforcing the court order is that you allow management and the trade unions to speak to those workers to comply with the court order. What are these issues now that workers now are being compelled to investigations and so forth?
What is the management currently saying in terms of the negotiations? Are they coming to party? Are you happy?
Look, management is not coming to party. Management is not coming to party. They are cohesing with NUM. NUM, they know they've got an upper hand of support of the government. Hence, 20, 30, 40 cars of police vehicles are inside. 3 nyalas are inside as if workers were fighting. Even those workers who are sitting outside on surface, they've always remained peaceful.
Workers are not happy. They are saying that others are selling them out. They were intending to stage a sit-in until their demands are met. What do you have to say? What's the way forward from your side as the leadership?
Look, at the end of the day, safety of the workers is it's our priority. Management made sure that those workers underground do not have access to food. I mean, the only advice that we can give to those workers is that their safety is our priority. We can't encourage them to sit underground where else they are denied food, meaning we will be actually supporting what the management is intending to achieve. I think these workers did great by resurfacing, ensuring that they are safe, so that if there's a need to take this battle forward, we can do it with an energy.
In terms of the recognition of AMCU at the mine, have you actually followed the proper protocols in ensuring that you do have representation in the mine?
Look, Section 21 is very clear. You sent the employer a letter informing them that you have recruited workers. Which rights are you seeking to exercise? We have recruited 1,200 workers at around April. We notified the employer of that. And then we've actually met with the employer on 2 occasions where we submitted those stop orders. The company went as far to agree to conduct a verification of those stop orders. Now, we were surprised at a later stage that when the employer responded, when we needed feedback, we were told that there is a close shop agreement, then we're not going to be entertained. Then we took this matter to the CCMA, where we also again failed to find each other. Hence, we were issued with a non-resolution at the CCMA. But moreover, workers around June signed a petition, and that petition was compelling NUM and employer to conduct ballots, which NUM and employer failed to conduct ballots as per their own close shop agreement, which says if majority of the workers are signing a petition for the termination of the close shop agreement, the employer needs to write to NUM and request NUM to demonstrate that it is the majority. And if it is not, then the close shop agreement terminates. Both parties, employer and NUM, failed to listen to the call of the workers. Hence, today we are seated with this situation.
Your advice to the workers at this point, some are saying that they're not going back to work.
Look, at this point, AMCU is a mandate-driven organization. Hence, we are saying we will be having a meeting with the workers, and workers will demonstrate to us what is the way forward.
So are you communicating with the workers inside?
Yes. Any questions?
Daddy, you said management also seems to be siding with NUM in terms of not wanting to terminate revise the closed shop agreement. Why do you think management would not want to renegotiate the closed shop agreement?
Look, this has been very clear from the set-go. We are indicating to say AMCU has followed all the channels in terms of Section 21. We notified the employer, we submitted proof, which the employer is confirming that, yes, indeed, AMCU sent us 1,200 stop orders. That was around May, April. Seated today here, we are talking about 1,700, so that number grew. So their closed shop agreement says if a trade union loses its majority, there has to be a ballot. We've been calling for that ballot at the CCMA. We've been calling that ballot even on yesterday's meeting, saying, why is it difficult for the company to agree to the ballot so that the ballot can demonstrate who is the majority? So the company has been colluding with NUM to ensure that AMCU doesn't get recognized. I mean, we're at the CCMA on the 16th when the CCMA issued us with the non-resolution certificate. The company and NUM went to sign a 3-year wage agreement. And that 3-year wage agreement was extending a closed shop agreement that has been since signed in 2012. In terms of the closed shop agreement, every 3 years we have to conduct the ballots to ensure that the closed shop agreement is still compliant. Remember, a closed shop agreement can only be approved by 3/3 majority of the workers. So since 2012, that agreement was signed. It has never been checked as to whether is it still valid or not. Workers this year, in May, April, May, June, they signed a petition That petition was demonstrating that NUM is losing the majority. AMCU sent the employer a Section 21 letter. That letter was signaling to management to say the majority trade union is losing its foot. So therefore, the management was supposed to look at their closed shop agreement as to what needs to follow. They failed to go through those processes.
My question is, why do you think they're colluding with the NUM?
I'm saying to you, we were at the CCMA engaging on the dispute of Section 21. Now, all of a sudden, this company has a wage agreement that lapses in December. And the new wage agreement is supposed to be effective in January. They've signed an agreement 2 days after we received the certificate, which is effective from October. So how possible is that you have an agreement that is alive, all of a sudden you're signing an agent new agreement? And again, we are saying, workers are seeing all this thing and they're not going to agree to be bound by an agreement that is signed by 100 people, deciding for the majority as their way forward. It can't be correct.
Well, that's the latest from the Gold One mine, Bafedile Moerane there, along with other journalists talking to AMCU. And what's quite clear, as they've said, is that there is a stalemate and they're not getting any sort of cooperation from the mining management because of the agreement that is in place with NUM. But we also heard the AMCU representative saying that agreement has actually not been exercised. It's supposed to be reviewed every few years, and that review has not taken place. That indeed, as AMCU, they seem to be the union that the majority of the mine workers are actually supporting.
Yeah, which is where the Section 21 is coming in, that they keep referring to, this closed shop agreement. Essentially what that means is if a majority of workers at a union, for example, or at a mine rather, are part of one particular union or choose to be part of one particular union, the Section 21 brings us into that particular case as well. It looks like that's the argument that AMCU is putting forward. Let's go back to the mine.
Sonke sebenza ngokomthetho. Sesifelwa nje ikhampani ngoba inganalo uthando. Nabasebenzi bonke abasebenzi ababalekanga kubo. Kuyithi esikhiqiza imali emgodini sisebenza kanzima emgodini basebenzi. Mphakathi. Kodwa manje asinalo usizo sesicela nisize nani. Njengoba nisibona nje sihluphekiswa abaphathi bethu iNUM lesingasayifuni eGold One Moda East Springs Moda East operation. So sicela nisize numphakathi size siphumelele sole lento esifuna iAMCU siyayithanda suka kude kakhulu nayo. So sibonga isikhathi senu ukuba nivele nizosiza ngaloko esikhala ngako sithemba ukuthi njengoba nikhona ningama media iexposure lesiyenzayo senzela ukuthi sithole lento esifunayo. Ayikho into efika kamnandi yonke into iyalwelwa. Bathi iyanyuka indlela emalini. So nathi sifuna inyuka izifike egcineni la izofika yehle khona. Amandla. Viva AMCU, viva. Viva AMCU, viva.
Manje baba nenza kanjani nibule, are you going back to work?
No, we are not going back to work. We're only waiting for a response from the management. If bangasinikezi lento esifuna asikwazi kubuyela emsebenzini. Ungqona icompany ivale sambe sohlala ekhasi market omunye umsebenzi ngoba kuyafana ukuthi asisebenzi. Angeke usuke la uthi uye lunchini, uthi uya elifini, uzohamba nge800 akusimali leyo basebenzi. Uma ngabe sisuka sithi siyelifini ufuna kubonakala ukuthi indoda ibuye elifini. Uma kuthi uyasebenza kufuneka uma uholile ujabule ungaphathwa istress. eGold One uma uholile uphathwa istress. Kunemali eziningi kakhulu elahleka ama living out, imali zama allowance asiziboni basebenzi. Kunemali ezama risk asizitholi. Kunemali ezama shares asizitholi. Kodwa le imali ziyaphuma. eGold 1 kunabasebenzi abahola bangasasebenzi eGold 1 abaphuma nge-retrenchment. So konke lokhu kuyinsolo njengoba silwa ne-NUM ingafuni ukusuka e-ofisini iyazi ukuthi yini lento eyifihlile egodle ekhwapheni kodwa sithi ngelinye ilanga ithumba lizawupamuka.
Thank you so much.
A very impassioned plea there that we're hearing from one of the workers at Gold 1 mine. Bafedile, if you want to just take us through what he was saying, but he's basically also now starting to highlight some of the real issues and concerns that they're having with NUM. He highlighted the fact that when they go on leave, they only leave with like 800 Rand, which is nothing, minuscule for a man who works and comes back home with only 800 Rand. He mentioned money for risk that is actually being paid out allegedly to NUM that never makes its way through to them. He also spoke about shares. You know, now we're starting to actually hear the level of discontent and some of the aspects that the AMCU workers say they are getting from NUM. Bafedile?
Well, Tammy, as you heard the worker there having to share the sentiments, not really happy with the situation that is currently transpiring. They are saying that they are not going back to work until the management comes on board to answer their calls, as they want AMCU to be recognized in the mine as the representatives. Here are the workers, Tammy, in numbers, and they are really not happy. I will try to engage some of them and get different sentiments from them as to how they feel about the situation, because it's really mixed views on the ground. Basebenzi, how do you feel, Baba, after what transpired? We're seeing your colleagues are out, and a number of you are not really happy, saying that you didn't achieve really what you wanted to achieve.
We are feeling very bad, ma'am. We are so disappointed because of this mine is playing with the workers. We are not anything. We want the AMCU to go inside, back to the work. If they do not want to recognize the AMCU, it's better this manager must be closed. That's all.
You're not going back to work?
We are not going back to work until they recognize the AMCU here inside.
So let's talk about your colleagues that have been underground for over 42 hours. They only came out this morning. How is the situation? How is their well-being? Have you engaged them?
Not yet, ma'am, but they are still busy engaging them inside, ma'am, because the company is locking their gate now. We are still outside the gate at the moment.
All right, okay. So these are some of the sentiments being shared here, Tammy, by the frustrated workers, having to say that all they want at this point in time, it is the recognition of AMCU, nothing else. And they are vowing that they are not going back to work until the mine management comes on board and engage with their leadership, which is AMCU at this point. Both AMCU and NUM are claiming to have high numbers of affiliates in this particular mine. AMCU yesterday was saying that it has 1,700 members, while NUM also on the other hand said it has over 1,700 workers, affiliates in this mine. So the workers this morning have came out on surface from underground, but what we gather is that there are no injuries at this point that have been reported. We understand that they are now at the mine clinic to be assessed. So that is the situation on the ground. As you see, a number of them here having to be just beyond this particular gate. So this is the situation at this point in time. Baba? You're from underground?
Yes.
How is the situation? How was the situation underground? Why did you come out?
Kunzima underground sisamele. Kunzima kakhulu because asitholi nix yokudla lapha. I-management ayifuni ukukhuluma into serious. Inami yona is representer sengathi yiyo esincedayo underground. Of which zange sidle until from Sunday up to namhlanje since sifuna ukuphuma. Yabo, siziphumele hayi ukuthi siqedile uprotest hayi sazoqhubeka sisafuna lento siyifunayo le underground kuyanyiwa akulaleki ulale ematheni uhleli ubekezele for umsebenzi wakho ubonisa nje ukuthi awufuni umsebenzi just awufuni lento abayenzayo inami yodwa le yenza lento le i-AMCU yas-assista kuyo yonke into la ukuthi wathi ningathangani basinceda bona basincedi nix
bakhona abalimele
ngabekho abalimele.
So you are all fine. Where are they now?
Abanye basase underground since i-distance isibulala ukhuphuka indlala ngapha esiswini yabo so abanye kunzima ukuthi basuke bahambe nje wesima kuhlangane nalabantu abawubusisi thina akufani sinestamina nyana hayi ukuthi stamina nyana nakhona bekezela nje ukuthi sifikele masiqeda masesiphuma ngale basigaya ama-power rate angazi nokuthi bathi sowenza kanjani ngawo noma zosuthisa noma.
So we heard that there are paramedics that were sent down. Where are those paramedics? Is it true? There were paramedics who were sent down to help those who were injured. On Sunday, the mine management.
Aye.
There are no paramedics there.
Aye.
Well, these are the sentiments that are having to be shared by the workers and having to say that they are not really happy with the situation that is transpiring at this point in time.
Bafedile Moerane at the Gold One mine, thank you so much for that. And you can hear it's not over. He says they're coming out only because literally it's unbearable underground, but they're still continuing to strike, still not happy at all with the situation. And others are actually still underground. And there's a long distance, he says, for them to travel back up to the surface again.
Just literally coming up for a quick consultation, it looks like, with other members, and they're going back down.